Ladies and gentlemen, members of the jury constituting this defense panel from the Ecclesian Theological University, Edo State, Nigeria, and affiliated universities from India and beyond. I, Nalionge Maximilianus Ewoko, doctoral student in organizational leadership with matriculation number DOL 2025001, greet you from Cameroon. As I thank you all for giving me this opportunity to present this executive PhD thesis exactly in line with the university's principles and requirements for distant or foreign students. Thus, I am hysterically hysterized to be part of this epistemic program from Cameroon. Cameroon today faces a critical moral crisis among its youth. This crisis is intensified by weak parenting, ongoing socio-political instability, and the overwhelming influence of digital media. In urban centers like Yaoundé, we are witnessing an alarming breakdown of family values and an escalation in moral decay. Historically, the church served as a moral compass in communities, but today, many churches appear weakened, silent, or more preoccupied with capitalist pursuits than spiritual regeneration. It is from this background and the desire to present an existential panacea to the plagues of contemporary youth's upbringing in Cameroon that we gained inspiration to title this research Ecclesial Leadership and Youth Formation, evaluating the role of the church in shaping responsible future leaders in contemporary Cameroon. Ladies and gentlemen, in 5 chapters, according to the prescriptions and the methodology of the Ecclesian Theological University, this thesis therefore explores how ecclesial leadership and proper educational systems can reclaim its transformative role in youth moral regeneration, especially in a context marked by urban displacement, failed parenting, and the aftermath of socio-political crisis or conflict. So our preoccupation at this juncture is that the moral decay among Cameroonian youth is no longer a hidden phenomenon. From north to south, east to west, the cry and song remains the same. What future for Cameroon youth? It is now widespread and visible. Its drivers include broken homes, unchecked digital influence, peer pressure, and primordially an absence of effective moral formation or training by religious institutions and the educational system, which is more political than ethical. Schools have become what I describe as dumping grounds, places where most undisciplined children from broken homes are sent without proper parental support. An arena of cogito, where responsibilities described by Guridange in his book titled The ABC of Parenting are being shifted to parents by parents under the pretext of paying fees and expecting pedagogues to do the magic trick. That temple of sapientia, where basic home trainings of Ubuntu, Ujamaa, Swahili, Harambe are shifted to the schools, while the church retreats into silence or routine activities, forgetting its prophetic or purpose-driven call of fear of political hammer. Hence, this study sets out 3 clear objectives. Primo, to assess the causes and manifestations of youth moral decline in Cameroon, especially in urban areas. Secundo, to examine the role of ecclesial leadership in shaping youth character and moral values. Tertio, to propose a contextual model and hybrid of ecclesial leadership and educational system for moral regeneration in 21st century Cameroon. To arrive at these goals, the research used a qualitative and descriptive approach collecting data through questionnaires, interviews, and focus group discussions. Respondents included church leaders, school administrators, teachers, parents, and youth, with 49 active respondents who answered to our questions by filling the questionnaire form via Google across the National Triangle, but primordially Yaoundé, excluding the interviews and focus group discussions contributing to this study. Our findings reveals that 85% of participants acknowledge that moral decay among youth is very serious and need rapid holistic concern. The main causes to this quandary include poor parenting, digital exposure, and trauma, especially from the Anglophone crisis. Again, from our findings, while many churches have youth programs, most participants found them not contextual to real-life situations, ineffective or only moderately effective. Importantly, from our findings, nearly all participants emphasized the need for stronger partnership between the church, schools, and families in addressing this moral collapse. To crown these findings, between 2021 and 2024, Cameroon's pass rate has drastically dropped from 65% to 37%, affecting both Francophone and Anglophone systems. The Minister of Secondary Education, Her Excellency Professor Nalionge, during a parliamentary session on June 20, 2025, says this problem is because of student disengagement, distractions like TV, violence, early sex, and drug use. These are issues now widespread in schools. Lawmakers are calling it a deep educational crisis, commending urgent reforms to save the future of thousands of young Cameroonians. The theoretical, as of what concerns our theoretical framework, the theoretical framework of this study draws from diverse perspectives, including one, the Augustinian and Thomistic perspective of good, evil, and moral choice. Invite all stakeholders to look into the developmental and nation-building directives or directions, and the existentialist view of life and choice, as we hold that life is a matter of choice. You choose to choose or you choose not to choose. In either case, you are making a choice. Make the choice to choose and to choose the right direction, because choice determines direction and direction determines destiny. So youth needs to choose the right direction for the proper destiny, including stakeholders. Our second perspective is the American psychologist Lawrence Kohlberg's theory of moral development, which stresses progressive moral reasoning through his 6 stages categorized under 3 levels: the pre-conventional level, the conventional level, and the post-conventional level. Our third perspective is the African communitarian ethics, which highlights the role of the community in child formation. The fourth perspective is that of servant leadership models, especially within ecclesial structures. That was for the theoretical framework. As of what concerns the theological and contextual reflections, for a case study, the Anglophone crisis has created massive displacement, trauma, and a loss of moral direction. In this chaotic context, the church must reclaim its role as prophetic and healing presence. Our youth today do not need more dogma. They need authenticity. They are searching for identity, purpose, and belonging, not just routine sermons. As one respondent put it, I quote, "The church must come down to us and not stay up there." End of quotation. So, as of what concerns our recommendations based on the findings and recommending for posterity, I propose that ecclesial institutions should 1. Train church leaders in trauma-informed care, youth mentorship, and pastoral counseling. Secundo, invest in digital discipleship, creating content that speaks to youth in their digital space. Tertio, promote collaboration between churches, schools, and parents, rebuilding moral foundations. And as fourth recommendation, preach the cross and resurrection, not only as doctrine, but also as a lived model of redemptive suffering, hope, and renewal. Last but not the least, and primordially, the government of Cameroon should have a rethink on their position about religious studies and moral education in secondary schools, and acceptance for public exams, because they don't accept it in our public exams. They should be a first stage human building subject which must be offered and passed by all citizens in our country, like religious studies and moral education, citizenship education, law and government, human rights, universal declarations, mathematics, computer science, English, and French. This should be fundamental subject that people must pass to enter the public service. Curriculum could be designed to fit the learning level ranging from primary, secondary, and tertiary education. And this subject should be primordial for public service, as I earlier said. Conclusively, this thesis is a prophetic and pragmatic call for the church in Cameroon to rise up and reclaim its divine mandate in close collaboration with educational institutions under the auspices of the education ministries. The church must become again a moral guide, a community builder, and a healing force in the society. Through relational leadership, prophetic presence, and deep listening to the youth aspirations, ecclesial institutions can lead a movement of moral renewal, one rooted in truth, justice, and compassion. As scripture affirms in 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 12, I quote, "Let no one despise your youth, but set the believers an example in speech, conduct, love, faith, and purity." I hereby end this presentation without pretending to have exhaustively covered all areas related to our topic and open further discussions and recommendations. Hence, I remain humble, welcoming your questions, comments, and reflections in building a better ecosystem. I just cannot not appreciate our tutor and supervisors, Dr. John Yakubu and Dr. Ekike Udo, for their elastic epistemic guide. Not forgetting Dr. Benson Joe, the provost of Udo, of ETU, I beg your pardon, Edo State Nigeria University, and again Professor Bright Ezasua, Deputy Vice Chancellor of ETU. Thank you very much, Ecclesian Theological University, for giving us this opportunity to present this our research. I was Nalionge Maximilianus Ewoko, doctorate research student in organizational leadership under your distinguished auspices from the Ecclesian Theological University, Edo State, Nigeria, in partnership with other universities in the world. Thank you very much, and thank you for your keen attention.